The vast Imperial starship Nexus hung silently in Earth's orbit, its sleek metal hull reflecting the pale sunlight as it drifted above the blue planet. Through the ship's panoramic bridge windows, Captain Taho Kim studied the world below with mild curiosity. His dark uniform gleamed under the soft bridge lights as he stroked his chin thoughtfully. "Another primitive world," he murmured, watching clouds swirl across Earth's surface. "It looks just like all the others we've brought into the Empire." After conquering over 1,000 planets, Taho found little excitement in these routine expansion missions. The bridge crew worked quietly at their stations, running standard planetary scans. First Officer Ji-Woo Park approached with a data tablet, her boots clicking against the polished floor. "Captain, initial scans show they've achieved nuclear capabilities, but their technology level remains far below Imperial standards." Taho nodded absently, still gazing at the planet. The Empire had encountered many worlds at this stage of development. They usually submitted quickly once they witnessed true Imperial power. "Nuclear weapons," he said with a slight smile. "How quaint." The massive view screens surrounding the bridge displayed various readings and surveillance feeds from the surface. Cities sprawled across continents, vehicles moved along roadways, and electromagnetic signals bounced between communication networks, all perfectly normal for a pre-space civilization. "Their military forces are divided by national boundaries," Ji-Woo reported, scrolling through more data. "No unified planetary defense system detected. Standard resistance projections estimate minimal casualties during integration." "Very well." Taho straightened his uniform and squared his shoulders. "Send the standard intimidation protocol. 3 Raptor-class vessels should be sufficient for the demonstration." Ji-Woo bowed slightly and relayed the orders. From the Nexus's massive hangar bay, 3 sleek silver ships emerged, each about the size of a terrestrial aircraft carrier. They descended smoothly through the atmosphere, their energy shields flickering as they penetrated the upper layers of Earth's sky. The bridge crew watched the deployment with professional detachment. They had performed this procedure countless times before. First, a show of overwhelming technological superiority. Then, the inevitable surrender negotiations. Finally, integration into the Empire's ever-expanding sphere of influence. But something was different this time. The first warning came from the tactical station. "Captain, energy signatures detected on the surface." The young officer's voice cracked with surprise. "Multiple locations activating simultaneously." Taho frowned and stepped closer to the main view screen. Across Earth's surface, dozens of previously hidden installations were powering up. The readings made no sense. The energy signatures matched nothing in their database. "Impossible," Ji-Woo whispered, staring at her rapidly updating scans. "Their technology level. These readings can't be correct." Before anyone could react further, brilliant beams of light shot up from the surface, converging on the lead Raptor ship. The vessel's shields, designed to withstand the most advanced weapons in known space, flickered and failed in seconds. "Full defensive stance," Taho shouted, but it was too late. The disabled Raptor began falling from the sky, its systems completely shut down by whatever weapon Earth had unleashed. The other 2 ships attempted evasive maneuvers, only to be caught in similar energy nets. The bridge erupted into chaos as reports flooded in. Earth's surface was now bristling with previously concealed defense systems. Military installations were emerging from underground bunkers. Armed vessels were rising from hidden ocean bases. They were waiting for us," Ji-Woo realized, her face pale. "Everything we scanned was a facade." Taho gripped the command rail, his knuckles white, as he watched his ships plummet toward the surface. In all his years of service, he had never encountered such effective resistance, especially not from a supposedly primitive world. "Send word to Imperial Command," he ordered, his voice tight with fury and disbelief. "The situation here is not as we expected." As emergency recovery protocols engaged to save the falling ships and their crews, Taho stood rigid on his bridge, watching the planet that had just shattered centuries of Imperial doctrine about primitive worlds. Whatever Earth truly was, it had just committed an unforgivable sin in the Empire's eyes. It had resisted. The message that would set galaxy-changing events in motion was already racing through subspace toward Imperial command. Earth had revealed itself as something unprecedented, and the Empire's response would trigger a conflict unlike any in galactic history. Little did Captain Taho know that this routine mission had just become the Empire's greatest mistake. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Defense Commander Hai-Jin Lee watched Earth's most advanced monitoring systems track the Imperial vessels. The Global Defense Command Center hummed with quiet efficiency as operators managed holographic displays showing real-time data from around the planet. "Their scans are exactly as predicted," reported Senior Analyst Min Soo Park from his station. "They're seeing only what we want them to see." A satisfied smile crossed his face as he adjusted the complex sensor masking systems that had fooled the Imperial scanners. Hai-Jin clasped her hands behind her back, her posture straight but relaxed. For 20 years, Earth had prepared for this moment. The discovery of a crashed alien ship in 1982 had changed everything. Humanity had learned they weren't alone, and more importantly, they had learned about the Empire. "Status of quantum defense grid?" she asked, her calm voice belying the tension in the room. The massive screens covering the walls showed the 3 Imperial vessels descending through the atmosphere, unaware they were flying into carefully laid trap. "All systems green," responded Technical Chief Su Min Kang. "Quantum targeting is locked and power levels are optimal. We can disable their ships without destruction." She paused, checking another reading. "Their shield frequencies are exactly as our simulations predicted." Hai-Jin nodded, satisfaction evident in her expression. The years of secret preparation, the hidden technological developments, the careful maintenance of Earth's primitive facade, it was all about to pay off. "Begin Operation First Strike," she commanded. "Remember your training. We show them enough to make them retreat, but not enough to reveal our full capabilities." Around the world, carefully hidden defense installations activated. Quantum cannons emerged from mountain bunkers, desert installations, and underwater bases. To the Imperial ship's sensors, it would appear as if Earth's defenses had materialized from nowhere. "Target locked on lead vessel," reported Weapons Officer Jae-Hoon Kang. "Quantum disruptor ready to fire." His fingers hovered over the controls, waiting for the command. Hai-Jin watched the Imperial ships on the main display, their arrogant approach exactly matching the behavior patterns Earth had studied. Fire. Brilliant beams of energy lanced upward from multiple locations, converging on the lead ship's propulsion systems. The quantum-based weapons, developed through decades of reverse engineering, sliced through the Imperial shields as if they were paper. "Direct hit," Jae-Hoon announced. "Their primary and secondary propulsion systems are offline. Life support remains functional." The lead ship began to fall, its descent controlled by Earth's gravitational tractor beams, another technology kept hidden until this moment. The other 2 Imperial vessels broke formation, clearly shocked by the unexpected resistance. In orbit, the massive Imperial starship Nexus began broadcasting urgent signals. Earth's intelligence division intercepted and decoded them instantly, another capability they had developed in secret. Light years away, in the gleaming Imperial capital, Admiral Du Young Choi's face darkened as he read the distress signal. The message described impossible things: hidden defense systems, advanced energy weapons, and shields that had failed against primitive technology. "Unacceptable," he growled, slamming his fist on his ornate desk. "No backward world defies the Empire." He immediately began composing orders for a punitive expedition. The Empire had crushed thousands of rebellious worlds. Earth would be no different. Back in the command center, Hai-Jin watched the remaining Imperial ships retreat in disarray. "Begin recovery operations for the disabled vessel," she ordered, "and prepare the prisoner processing facilities. We have much to learn from our visitors." The operators worked with practiced efficiency, implementing long-rehearsed protocols. Earth had just revealed a fraction of its true power, and the response had been exactly as predicted. The Empire would return, of course, but that too was part of the plan. "Send word to all defense installations," Hai-Jin commanded. "Phase 1 is complete. Begin preparation for Phase 2. She allowed herself a small smile. The Empire just made their first mistake. Let's make sure it's their last. As the global defense network shifted to its next level of readiness, humanity prepared for the real battle to come. They had spent decades preparing for this conflict, and now it was time to show the galaxy that humanity was far more than the Empire had bargained for. Behind Hai-Jin, a massive screen displayed the disabled Imperial ship being carefully lowered to a secure facility. The first move in a long game had been played, and Earth had centuries of hidden advances yet to reveal. The Empire's worst nightmare was just beginning. A fleet of 50 Imperial warships emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. Commander Jin Wukang stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Celestial Sword, watching the holographic display of the small blue planet growing larger as they approached. Such a tiny world to cause so much trouble, he mused, adjusting his pristine white uniform. The loss of 3 ships to a primitive planet had wounded Imperial pride. Jin Wu intended to restore that pride with a swift and decisive victory. "Initial scans complete," Commander reported his sensor officer, "still showing the same technological level as our first contact." The officer paused, frowning at his readings. "Though given what happened to the scout ships, perhaps we should scan more thoroughly." Jin Wu waved away the concern. The first contact was a fluke. They caught one ship off guard with hidden weapons, against a proper Imperial fleet. He smiled coldly. "They stand no chance." Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Strategic Advisor He Yun-song monitored the approaching fleet from Earth's secondary command center. Massive screens showed the Imperial vessels' positions, while other displays tracked Earth's defense systems coming online. 50 ships, she noted to the assembled military leaders. "Exactly as our intelligence predicted. The Empire always follows the same protocols." She touched a control, bringing up detailed scans of the Imperial fleet. Standard punishment fleet formation. Around the world, hidden defense installations hummed to life. The planetary shield grid, reverse-engineered from the crashed alien ship and improved upon by Earth scientists, began powering up. Energy stations disguised as normal power plants channeled immense power into the shield network. "All defense zones report ready," announced Technical Director Hyun-Ki Cho. "Quantum weaponry is charged and planetary shields are at full power." He gestured to another screen showing the approaching fleet. "They have no idea what they're flying into." In orbit, Jin Wu's fleet arranged itself into standard attack formation. "Begin the bombardment sequence," he ordered. "Show these primitives the price of defying the Empire." The Imperial ships opened fire, releasing a barrage of energy weapons that would have devastated most worlds. But when the blast struck Earth's atmosphere, they encountered something unexpected. A planetary shield far more advanced than anything the Empire possessed. "Impossible," Jin Wu shouted as the reports came in. "Their shield technology. It's beyond our own." He stared in disbelief as his fleet's combined firepower dissipated harmlessly against Earth's defenses. In the underwater command center, He Yun allowed herself a small smile. "Activate countermeasures," she ordered. "Let's show them what a primitive world can do." Across Earth's surface and from hidden orbital platforms, advanced weapon systems revealed themselves. Technology that humanity had kept secret for decades emerged from camouflaged bunkers, mountain bases, and underwater facilities. The Imperial fleet found itself caught in a web of quantum disruptors, gravitational weapons, and energy beams that their sensors couldn't even properly detect. Ships began losing power as Earth's weapons targeted their key systems with surgical precision. "How are they doing this?" Jin Wu demanded as more reports of disabled ships flooded in. "Their weapons, they're using our own technology against us, but improved, advanced beyond our capabilities." On Earth, Yun watched the battle unfold exactly as their simulations had predicted. The Empire's greatest weakness is their predictability, she explained to her staff. They haven't truly innovated in centuries. They just keep using the same tactics, the same technology, expecting the same results. The Imperial fleet's formation began to break as more ships lost power or retreated from the unexpected resistance. Jin Wu's carefully planned punishment expedition had transformed into a disaster. Full retreat, he finally ordered, his face ashen. Back to the rally point. We need reinforcements. The remaining operational ships began emergency jumps to hyperspace, leaving their disabled companions behind. In the command center, Hou Yun turned to her communications officer. Send word to all recovery teams. Begin salvage operations on the disabled Imperial vessels. Every piece of their technology will help us prepare for what comes next. As Earth's forces moved to secure their victories, Hou Yun knew this was just the beginning. The Empire would return with a larger fleet, but that too was part of humanity's plan. Each battle would reveal more of Earth's true capabilities, carefully measured to draw the Empire deeper into a conflict they couldn't win. The Empire's hubris had led them to underestimate Earth yet again. They would soon learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just its hidden technology. It was their ability to adapt, improve, and overcome any challenge they faced. The massive holographic war room displayed hundreds of Imperial ships advancing toward Earth in perfect geometric formations. Defensive Coordinator Sunhai Park stood before the Global Council, her steady hands manipulating the tactical display as she explained humanity's next phase of operations. The Empire thinks in straight lines, she said, highlighting the rigid patterns of the approaching fleet. They'd fought the same way for 1,000 years. That will be their downfall. The council members watched intently as she brought up Earth's defensive positions. Instead of matching the Empire's organized formations, Earth's ships and defense platforms were scattered in seemingly random patterns throughout the solar system. Our strength lies in unpredictability, Sun He continued, zooming in on a cluster of small Earth vessels. While they expect us to meet force with force, we'll strike from unexpected angles with weapons they've never encountered. The AI tactical system, developed from recovered Imperial technology, projected thousands of possible battle scenarios. Earth's ships, smaller but more agile than their Imperial counterparts, were designed to exploit gaps in the Empire's standard tactics. Launch Operation Shadow Strike, Sun He commanded. Across the solar system, Earth's forces began to move. Small squadrons emerged from hiding places in asteroid fields and planetary rings, positions the Empire's rigid doctrine had dismissed as militarily useless. The Imperial fleet's commander watched with growing concern as his neat formations began encountering resistance from all directions. Earth ships would appear suddenly, strike with devastating precision, then vanish before the Empire could respond effectively. Their quantum-phased weapons are bypassing our shields, reported an Imperial officer as another cruiser lost power. The Empire's defensive technology, unchanged for centuries, proved vulnerable to Earth's enhanced versions of their own systems. Sun He directed the battle from her command center, coordinating with AI systems that could react faster than human reflexes. Target their command and control nodes, she ordered. Disrupt their ability to maintain formation. Earth's ships danced through the Imperial fleet's blind spots, striking at vulnerable points identified by decades of studying Imperial tactics. The Empire's attempts to maintain their traditional battle lines left them exposed to attacks from angles they'd never considered. They're trying to adapt, noted Sun He's tactical officer, watching the Imperial ships attempting to break from their standard patterns. But their training works against them. They can't think beyond their doctrine. The Empire's response was predictable. They launched their fighter squadrons in textbook formations. Earth's forces responded with swarms of AI-controlled drones, overwhelming the Imperial pilots with tactics that defied conventional space combat wisdom. This is impossible. The Imperial commander raged as reports of losses poured in. They're fighting like savages, not a civilized military force. His complaints echoed through intercepted communications, bringing slight smiles to the faces of Earth's command staff. Sun Hai activated another tactical overlay, showing the Empire's forces beginning to fragment. "Begin Phase 2, she ordered. "Let's show them what else we've learned from their technology." "How are they predicting our movements?" Jae Young demanded as another defense fleet arrived too late to prevent an attack. The answer was simple but terrifying. Humanity understood Imperial tactics better than the Empire itself. Minho watched with satisfaction as another Imperial facility fell to Earth's advanced weapons. "The Empire stopped innovating centuries ago," he told his crew. "They thought they had reached the peak of technology. We've proved them wrong." The Earth fleet's enhanced sensors detected Imperial reinforcements approaching, but instead of retreating, Minho ordered his forces to engage. The resulting battle demonstrated just how far humanity had advanced. Earth ships danced through Imperial formations, their improved engines allowing maneuvers that Imperial captains had thought impossible. Their weapons, refined versions of Imperial designs, cut through the Empire's best defenses with ease. "Tell High Command the first phase is complete," Minho ordered as his fleet prepared to withdraw. They had achieved their objectives, demonstrating Earth's ability to strike anywhere in Imperial space while showcasing their technological superiority. In the Imperial capital, Jae Young faced the harsh reality of their situation. The Empire had spent centuries believing they were untouchable, only to be proven wrong by a world they had dismissed as primitive. As Earth's forces returned home, they left behind a changed galaxy. The Empire's aura of invincibility was shattered, and word of their defeat spread quickly through their territories. Humanity had proven they could not only resist Imperial power, but actively challenge it. Minho's counterstrike marked the beginning of a new era in the conflict. The Empire would never again underestimate Earth's capabilities, but by then, it would be too late. Humanity had already proven they could take Imperial technology and make it better. The war had entered a new phase, and the galaxy watched in amazement as the once mighty Empire found itself facing an opponent unlike any they had encountered before. Senior diplomat Yu Jin-cho walked through the gleaming halls of the Imperial Palace, her footsteps echoing against marble floors as she carried reports that would change the galaxy forever. Around her, the once proud symbols of Imperial power seemed to mock the current crisis. In the Grand Meeting Chamber, Intelligence Director Dae-hyun Park presented the latest findings to the Imperial Council. The massive holographic display showed red dots appearing across the galaxy map, each one representing another system in open revolt. "The Centauri colonies have declared independence," Dae-hyun announced, his voice tight with tension. "The Arcturus sector follows. Our reports indicate they're using Earth-supplied weapons and tactics." Yu Jin studied the worried faces around the council table. For centuries, these halls had hosted celebrations of Imperial victories. Now, they witnessed the beginning of its collapse. "The Orion systems are demanding negotiations," she added, checking her datapad. "They say they'll declare independence if we refuse." 3 more sectors threatened to follow. The weight of each word seemed to press down on the assembled leaders. Outside the palace windows, the capital city sprawled endlessly, its towers reaching toward the stars. But now those same stars brought daily news of fresh rebellions, inspired by Earth's successful resistance. "Earth is sharing their enhanced versions of our technology," Dae-hyun continued. "The rebel worlds are using our own weapons against us, improved versions we never thought possible." The holographic display showed battles where Imperial forces faced their own technology, modified and strengthened by human innovation. Emergency reports flooded in from across the galaxy. The Sirius Defense Fleet had mutinied. The Pleiades Trading Guild declared neutrality. Centuries-old alliances crumbled as Earth's victory proved the Empire wasn't invincible. "We cannot fight on all fronts," warned Fleet Admiral Min-Soo Lee, studying the tactical displays. "Every ship we send to crush one rebellion leaves another system vulnerable. Earth has shown them all our weaknesses." Yu Jin watched as the council members argued, their composure cracking under mounting pressure. The Empire had never faced a crisis like this. Their standard protocols for handling rebellion proved useless against coordinated Earth-inspired resistance. The Vega sector reports civilian unrest, and aid announced, rushing into the chamber. They're demanding recognition of local autonomy. Our garrison there is surrounded. More red dots appeared on the galactic map, spreading like a virus through Imperial space. In the diplomatic quarters, Yu Jin received messages from panicked Imperial governors. Worlds that had been loyal for generations now questioned everything. Earth's success had shattered their fear of Imperial power. The rebel worlds are copying Earth's tactics, Da Hyun explained, showing footage of insurgent forces using guerrilla strategies against Imperial troops. They're adapting faster than we can respond. The Empire's military, stretched across too many systems, began to buckle. Ships that once projected Imperial power now rushed from crisis to crisis, always arriving too late to prevent another declaration of independence. We must negotiate. Yu Jin urged the council. Every show of force drives more systems into rebellion. Earth has changed the rules of the game. Her words met resistant faces. The Empire had never negotiated with rebels before. But this crisis was different. Earth hadn't just resisted. They had proven the Empire's technology could be improved. Its tactics countered, its power challenged. Every victory inspired more worlds to rise up. Another fleet lost in the Antares system, reported Admiral Min-Su. The rebels used Earth's enhanced quantum weapons. Our defenses were useless. The admission hung heavy in the air. Imperial technology, once the source of their power, had become their weakness. The council chamber, designed to impress with its grandeur, now felt like a tomb for Imperial dreams of eternal dominance. Centuries of unquestioned rule were unraveling in a matter of months. Earth sends a message, Yu Jin announced, reading from her latest dispatch. They offer to mediate negotiations between the Empire and independent worlds. The offer carried an implicit threat: refuse, and Earth would continue supporting the rebellions. As night fell over the capital, emergency meetings continued throughout the palace. The Empire faced a choice: adapt to a new reality or watch their territory dissolve system by system. Da Hyun's final report of the day painted a grim picture: 27 major systems in open revolt, 42 more showing signs of unrest. Earth's example has awakened something we cannot control. The Empire's crisis deepened with each passing hour. Their mighty fleets, once the galaxy's most feared power, found themselves fighting an impossible war on countless fronts. The age of absolute imperial rule was ending, brought down not by force alone, but by Earth's demonstration that resistance was possible. The lights burned late in the Imperial Palace that night, as its leaders faced a truth they had never imagined. The Empire would have to change, or it would not survive at all. The Grand Council chamber of the former Imperial Palace glowed with soft light as representatives from 100 worlds gathered for the historic meeting. Ambassador Jai Yun-Li stood at the center, her simple Earth uniform standing out among the elaborate dress of other delegates. Holographic displays showed the faces of leaders from distant systems, all gathered to witness the formation of the new Galactic Alliance. The imperial banners that once dominated the chamber had been replaced with symbols of unity and cooperation. Reform Minister Tai Yong-choi, representing the transformed empire, sat quietly among the delegates. His presence symbolized how completely the galaxy's power structure had changed in just a few years. We gather here not as conquerors or subjects. Jai-yun began, her voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber, but as equals. Earth extends its hand in friendship to all worlds who seek peace and progress. The assembled delegates murmured as Earth's latest technological achievements appeared on the displays. Advanced ships, medical breakthroughs, and environmental restoration systems, all developed by combining human innovation with imperial technology. These advances belong to all of us, Jai-yun continued, gesturing to the images. Earth believes that progress comes through cooperation, not competition. Knowledge should be shared, not hoarded. Tai Yong stood to address the council, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. The Empire accepts this new reality. We have learned that true strength lies not in domination, but in partnership. Representatives from newly independent worlds watched with a mixture of hope and caution. Many remembered centuries of imperial rule, but Earth's example showed a different path forward. The Galactic Alliance will be founded on 3 principles, Jai Yun announced: equal representation for all member worlds, shared technological advancement, and mutual defense against any threat to peace. The holographic displays showed the proposed structure of the new alliance. Each world would have a voice in the council. Joint research projects would benefit all members. Defense fleets would protect trade routes and maintain stability. We do not seek to replace the Empire's dominion with our own, Jai Yun assured the gathered delegates. Earth's role is to guide and support, not to rule. As she spoke, ships from a dozen worlds performed a ceremonial flypast above the capital. Earth vessels flew alongside former Imperial cruisers and ships from independent systems, all displaying the new Alliance emblem. The treaty signing began as representatives approached the central table one by one. Each signature represented a step away from the old order of conquest and subjugation, toward a future of cooperation and shared progress. Let history record that on this day, the galaxy chose unity over division, Jai Yun declared as she added Earth's signature to the document. We move forward together, or not at all. Tai Yong signed for the reformed empire, formally surrendering its claims of absolute authority. The empire would remain a significant power, but now as one member of a larger alliance. Outside the palace, crowds gathered to watch the ceremony on massive screens. Citizens from 100 worlds celebrated together, their differences forgotten in the promise of a better future. The final article of the treaty established the alliance capital on a neutral world, ending the empire's claim to galactic leadership. A new council chamber would be built there, incorporating architectural elements from all member worlds. As the ceremony concluded, Jai Yun met privately with Tai Yong. The empire's greatest mistake, she said quietly, was believing that any one power could control the galaxy forever. And Earth's greatest achievement, he replied, was showing us a better way. The sun set on the imperial capital for the last time, and rose on the first day of the Galactic Alliance. Earth's resistance had evolved into something greater, a movement that transformed not just the galaxy's power structure, but its very nature. Humanity had proven that innovation, cooperation, and determination could overcome even the most entrenched authority. The galaxy would never be the same, and its future looked brighter than ever before. The stars themselves seemed to shine more brightly that night, as if celebrating the dawn of a new era. The Empire's worst decision, underestimating Earth, had led to the galaxy's greatest transformation. And so began the age of the Galactic Alliance, born from human ingenuity and built on the promise of a united future among the stars.